All right, Andy, please.
Baseball!
That it's 1-1 in the fourth. Carlos Correa fooled him, struck him out looking.
Talking about speed, and if this ball hits the top brim of his cap.
His sixth home run of this postseason, the batting champion sends one out of here tonight.
The core is called the cork or pill. Some baseballs have a cork center and some have a cork center with a rubber shell around it. The cork is grown and shipped from Portugal. Portugal produces half of the cork in the world. The rubber comes from Malaysia. Malaysia takes crude oil and processes it into rubber. The cork and rubber are then shipped to a factory in Costa Rica to be assembled into the core used for baseballs.
The core of the ball is wrapped in multiple layers of wool yarn imported from Australia. 121 yards of 4-ply gray yarn is wrapped around the first layer, followed by 45 yards of 3-ply white wool yarn and 53 yards of 3-ply gray wool. The ball is then wrapped in 150 yards of fine polyester cotton finishing yarn.
The final outer shell of the baseball is made of cowhide leather. Full cowhides are transported from cattle farms in Texas, Ohio, and Pennsylvania to the Tennessee Tanning Company, where they are cut down the backbone, fleshed, cured, dried, and cut to shape. Each hide will make roughly 16 balls. Finally, the cured and cut leather is sent to the Rawlings factory in Costa Rica to be hand-wrapped around what is soon to be a finished baseball.
The leather is then placed on the baseball and the red stitching is used to sew it together. The baseballs are sewn together by hand in the Rawlings factory. There are exactly 108 stitches on every baseball. On a typical day of work, one factory worker will sew together 22 baseballs, and on average, the Rawlings factory makes about 2.4 million baseballs per year.
In 1876, the first baseball used in the National League was adopted as the standard. The ball center was made of rubber rather than cork. The live ball era began in the 1920s when Australian wool became tightly wound on the inside of baseballs. In the 1970s, the baseball changed to cowhide due to a shortage in horsehide. Finally, in 1975, the MLB ended its partnership with Spalding and began to use Rawlings as the new officially sponsored baseball in 1977. To this day, the baseball is a cushioned cork center with 3 layers of wool yarn and a final layer of cotton polyester.
The life of a baseball consists of 7 pitches after being shipped off to the MLB to be used in games. After being used in games, baseballs are then either thrown away, sold to the fans, or kept as memorabilia.
Baseballs can have a negative impact on the environment. The parts of a baseball are shipped from all over the world. The cork can come from either Portugal or Malaysia. The yarn usually comes from Australia, and the leather can come from Texas, Ohio, or Pennsylvania. All of these parts are then shipped to Costa Rica to the Rawlings factory to be assembled. According to the International Marine Organization, the amount of pollutants in the air related directly to international shipping has risen and is creating an ever-growing concern. In an article written by the Union of Concerned Scientists, it was stated that the transportation is the largest single source of air pollution in the United States. One possible solution to the pollution issue would be for the MLB to produce more of its baseballs domestically.
Long work hours and temperatures contribute to these harsh working conditions of the factory workers. Employees typically work 9 to 12 hours a day with temperatures reaching 97 degrees. In America, these conditions are virtually unheard of, but in Costa Rica, it is just considered another normal day. The stitching of the red string of the baseball is sewn together by hand and requires very repetitive motions. This causes many of the workers to sustain injuries in their wrists, shoulders, and back. Pains are common at the factory due to poor ergonomic of hunching over a ball for 9 or more hours a day, and performing difficult and meticulous movements repeatedly over the course of years. Rawlings does not see this as a problem because there are people lined up outside the doors waiting for a job. This raises the issue of job security. Is it ethically correct to treat workers as if they were easily dispensable? One possible solution would be for the MLB to give Rawlings an ultimatum to improve working conditions, or they will no longer be the official supplier of baseballs in the MLB.